board in Lightning Helix against Burn. I don't know. Is that a real question? Do you board in Lightning Helix against Burn? Sometimes I read questions like that and I'm not sure if they're real questions. If a card says gain life in your sideboard, you should bring it in against Burn, almost certainly. The Helix is blue because Moto is quality software. Lightning Helix is secretly a Jeskai card, not a Boros card. I think this hand's fine. It's a little bit land heavy, but it's not terrible. Yeah, the Lightning Helix, so like a lot of mid-range decks that exist in Modern, this deck hinges, a lot of mid-range aggro decks, this deck hinges on role assessment. So basically this deck depends on the Helixes help you become more controlling when you need to be more controlling with this archetype. So humans, affinity, any other aggressive deck, you're probably bringing in the Helixes. Can I save it till next Tuesday? No, I'm gonna play it when we get to it, Agahi, and we're definitely not gonna get to it by 1 o'clock. You'll be able to catch it. You'll be able to catch it on YouTube. It just becomes too much if I'm like randomly pausing and holding things in the queue. Trying to coordinate like with every person that puts every deck in the queue, like for them to be able to catch it live. Well, unfortunately would be nice, would just be a lot. Well, we're definitely attacking for 2 here. The question is, do I want to play out one of my 3 drops after this? I don't think I do. I already got cards for my next order, Nivik. I already picked up cards for the next one. Sure, Naya Zoo, Naya Landfall. The naming schemes of decks is mostly arbitrary. 4th Skin. Playing it now is better against Cryptic Command, but it's much worse against Path to Exile. You could maybe argue that I should have put Renegade Rallier into play there just to have more pressure in play. Oh, I should have eaten the cards in their bin. That was a mistake. We definitely don't have the tools this game to really play around much, so we're probably just gonna get buried. That's a game where we're not dead on board, but we're not winning the game. So let's just like move along with our lives. It's gonna be a slow grind while we slide into Oblivion. I want to bring in Ghost Quarter here as an extra land, especially bringing in the Tracker and the Chandras. Path is pretty medium. Bolt's like okay, but not amazing. Grim Lavamancer isn't amazing, but I think we just want like everything that has power and toughness in this matchup to attack with. Sand's fine. Needs to draw a 3rd land, but it's pretty reasonable other than that. Peace, Zero. Have a good one. For a true professional, we'll draw like Plated Geopede next turn into fetch land the following turn to kill them with Renegade Rallier. Really want to draw a fetch land next turn. Really want to draw a fetch land next turn. So, we'll have turn 3 lethal if we draw a fetch land next turn. And they tap out for like Azcanta or something like that. God bless America. My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of the icing, such a low variance game. The skilled player always wins. Bum ba da 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 dum ba dum ba da dum bum bum. And of course, like, we boarded out 6 of our 8 removal spells, and like, we drew 2 bolts in our hand. We boarded into a 26th land and missed our 3rd land drop. So just like, you know, there are a lot of games of Magic that you're gonna lose where you just like don't have any control over what happened, and that's okay. That's just part of the game. You just gotta like shrug your shoulders and move on to the next one. It's just how it goes. At any rate, while we're waiting for the second match in this league to pop, I'd like to thank everyone for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. I stream because I love doing it, but my subscribers are the people that keep me here full-time. I wouldn't be able to be here day in and day out without all of their support. Past subscribing to support my content, you can support me by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com. I love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you, and if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. Honey is a free browser add-on that when you install it using link bit.ly/HoogleHoney, you'll be supporting my content here at no cost to yourself. What Honey does is when you're shopping online, it takes a look at things you put in your shopping cart and tries to search automatically for coupon codes to save you money on things you're going to be buying anyways. If it can save you money, it offers you the code, and if it can't, it leaves you completely alone. Lisa would like to get you on your way to a better night's sleep. Christy and I have been sleeping with Lisa for the last 2 months now, and we truly enjoy it. I don't think we'd ever go back to traditional pillow top mattress. You can save $160 or more on your new foam mattress by checking out links bit.ly/HoogleBedUS and bit.ly/HoogleBedCA. And of course, we'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. Please talk to your friendly neighborhood moderator about receiving your complimentary timeout. Had some rough beats there versus blue-white control in the first round. Head on into the second match, see if we can get a little bit better lineup of what we have going on. Get out of here, Andrew. Yeah, it seems pretty good. It needs a 3rd land, but again, like, we have 25 lands in our main deck, so we're on the draw, so hopefully we're going to hit our 3rd land on 3. Probably fetch Temple Garden on 1, play Wild Nacatl, and then, like, basic Mountain Plated on 2. Although I guess maybe I should go Stomping Ground into basic planes. Yeah, probably Stomping Ground into basic planes, so that way even if I draw Ghost Quarter or Kessig Wolf Run, I can play Knight on 3. Psycho Smurf, I don't know that Incendiary Flow is actually good. I just think if you wanted to hedge Bridgevine, like you knew people were going to be playing in your local format for certain, that's one card you could play to play it. I don't know that I would play that. I don't think we're playing Blue-Red Tempo anytime soon on stream, so I don't have to like think through that myself. We'll see. We'll see how much Vengevines there end up being. And it's not just a sorcery speed magma spray, Psycho Smurf. It deals 3 damage, which means it gets to exile Vengevine. Well on our way to missing our 3rd land drop and dying. God bless. Alright, speaking of vines, I wonder if I should have put some Graveyard Hate in our sideboard. Yeah, maybe I should have put some Tormod scripts in our sideboard. I probably should have put some Tormod scripts in the board. Maybe trimming some of the Damping Spheres or the Ancient Grudges. Links are enabled because unlike most channels on Twitch, I moderate mine. Beast Mondo, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Alright, this says First Strike, which keeps Gravecrawler at bay. Our Knight of the Reliquary next turn will be a 5/5, which blocks Vengevine. We're probably... If we'd been on the play this game, we might have been okay. Grim Watch. The first retirement check came. Guess I'll have time to watch over Hoaglandia. Thank you, Grim Watch, for the support. I appreciate it. Thanks for the 3 months. Rude. Alright, so we're going to 6 here. Maybe this attack was bad. Yeah, this attack was probably bad. I'm going to go ahead and stick my knight into play here. If we were 2 higher, we'd be in a much better spot right now. Hey, Slimy Pete Jr., thanks for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. All right, I think I'm just going Tracker into pass here. Yeah, I'm going to go Tracker into pass. We can Knight for a land to Path to Exile this turn as well and make some clues. Getting their scry on a little bit here. This is actually okay for us because it means that my opponent is going to have less things to attack with next turn. So it means like they're potentially just like turtling up for another turn, which is decent for us. It's a lot of grave crawlers. Yeah, they don't have Whacker mana either, which is also valuable for us. Think I'm just going to Knight up a Shockland here. I really don't want to take a point of damage, but I do want to make my Knight bigger and generate a clue. So I'm going to grab Temple Garden here, I think. Punish for not fetching more red mana, I guess. I guess I just get Geopede out here. I kind of want to get Grim Lavamancer going, though. Geopede blocks better this turn, though. Geopede also threatens to get pretty aggressive here. Yeah, Geopede's also more mana efficient, which is appealing. I'll probably turn this Plains into a Sacred Foundry next turn. The fact that their deck doesn't have any Lightning Bolts in it is, like, really good for us. How do we feel about pathing a Gravecrawler here? They topped their last scry. They topped, it could be like a Stitcher supplier. Grimwatch with the $100 donation on the first retirement check. Here is your share for all the live streams I watched while serving. Thank you very much for the very generous support, Grimwatch. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for helping keep me here. I do appreciate it. Okay, so they ditched a Vengevine. I could path this in response, but I think we actually just, like, don't care about this, right? And Grimwatch, as always, the people that support me kind of dictate what we do and when. If there's any decks in the queue you'd like to see a little bit sooner, be sure to drop me a message and let me know, and I'm happy to bump them up. Obviously, you don't have to, but if there are things that you think look sweet, I'm happy to make them happen a little bit sooner. All right, so part of me really wants to get an untapped land here and crack this clue, I think. So I think I'm actually going to get Basic Mountain here and then crack this clue. Just want to start, I want to start, like, I need to get ahead on board. All right, so there's some lands. So I'm definitely playing this turn. Grishelbrand sounds good, Grimwatch. Grishelbrand is good, clean fun. So I think I play Lavamancer this turn. And then next turn, we can probably set up a lethal attack with Plated Geopede plus Kessig Wolf Run, I think. It really is Savage Rocker. It just plays such, like, genuinely interesting Magic, in my opinion. It's just, like, it plays a good, honest game while having game against a lot of things that are very much not honest. So could the Geopede get to lethal next turn? I'm actually not sure offhand. So next turn, the Geopede. So, like, at end of turn, I'm gonna get to Knight for a Kessig Wolf Run, or I'm gonna get to Knight for a fetch land, and then that fetch land is gonna make 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus Kessig entering is 9, 10. Plus 11, so this won't quite be lethal. Although, along with Grim Lavamancer and perhaps some other things attacking, it could easily be. We just, like, need to be careful so I don't die on the backswing if I don't have lethal. No, I don't think so, nerd. I think I don't plan to move it to proven decks until it top 8's 1 or 2 major events at the very least. It's currently just flash in the pan potential at the moment. No, my opponent's clock is still ticking down here. I'm gonna go ahead and export Grishelbrand. This. I think I wanted to try some Abrades in this sideboard. Oh. And that's good. Since Graham wants to see this, that'll let me hold what's it called till next week. So that way we can play some Hollowed 1 when AG is here. I think I like this. Yeah, let's do this Griselbrand list. All right, and we're back. You said Tuesday, AGH? A braid kills artifacts like Relic of Progenitus while also killing humans. It kills Bridge, Cage, and it kills humans like Meddling Mage and Kitesail Freebooter, which are very annoying for you. It does kill Hollowed One as well, although I don't think I'd board it in that matchup. Generally speaking, Griselbrand just gets to race Hollowed One. Yeah, some more spot removal could be good, Paris. Maybe 4 sweepers is too many. I could see that being the case. There was a bill thrown at me. Oh, you did. J Tinney for Mill. Thank you. Sorry I missed that. I was getting Griselbrand sorted. Maybe I do want to try more spot removal today. Humans is kind of annoying. Although Anger is appealing in the face of Bridgevine. There's been a lot of that. They found double bridge, chat. I don't know what the Through the Breach deck is, Kill a King. The problem with Pathing Seer is they sack everything else in response, and we're still just dead. Like, how do I actually win the game is the question. Sure, maybe I should have done this a while ago, honestly. Or maybe I should have played Grim Lavamancer the turn prior. It's very possible I should have killed Grim Lavamancer the turn prior. I think we're likely dead here. I'm going to finish changing this real quick. I like the idea of Fatal Push in this board. And actually I like the idea of more Anger. For the Dredgevine matchup. So let's do this. There were, Norby. There were. Normally I'm organized and have things planned out ahead of time. So you don't have to watch me make edits on stream. Pretty sure we're dead here. I got you, Tinny. They're just gonna have like too many blockers at this point, basically. We've actually played Stompy on stream a few times. I actually might add, I think I'm gonna add Green Stompy to my website after we play it today. I can't Lava Man my own creature at summoning Sick Techno. Otherwise, I would have done that already. Alright, well, they don't have attacks this turn, but they have a lot of good attacks next turn. Thanks, that nerd. Yeah, I'm gonna give them a chance to mess up here. I'm gonna give them a chance to mess up. I am out of basic lands to fetch, though, which is relevant because I can't fetch Shock at this point. I think I just attack with this, too. I'm gonna attack like this and see what they do. Could maybe have a mistake up in here. Does it hurt when pennies get thrown at you? Thank you, Zipdick, for the bit. Big dustiest spot on the website. I could probably make that happen. Could probably make that happen. Alright, I don't know that we quite have lethal, right? So this is 3. And then I can go make it 5, make it 7. Kessig makes it 8, 9. And then I bolt them. So this makes it 5, 7, 9, 12 minus 2. We're dead. Yeah, I think the lack of graveyard hate in our sideboard is probably a mistake. We have some linear draws that can just go through what the opponent is doing, but I think a couple of Tormod scripts that we could Renegade Rallier back with some consistency, or even just another Scavenging Ooze would go a long way here. No, if I fetched again, sorry, I should have explained why I wasn't counting the third fetch. If I fetched again, I couldn't Shock with the other 2 fetches, which means I couldn't Lightning Bolt. And fetching again was less damage than casting my Lightning Bolt. I was out of basics. The real limiter for the website is paying for art assets. So if we pay for the art assets, we can get on the site. Am I democracying, right? Yeah, art assets and time are the 2 limiters, Wannabe Beetle. Also, like, I really want decks to have a minimum of 2 leagues for me to put them on the website, just so people can watch at least 10 matches with them. My art guy is very, very reasonably priced. He's one of my buddies from college. He only charges me 15 bucks a banner to put all those together, which is great. I really appreciate all the stuff he does for me. He just does a quick turnaround, too. Well, if I'm putting them on the website, 2 leagues should be 10 matches. So I want the decks listed on the site to be decks that people can play and win games of Magic with. I don't want them to be decks that are just terrible. At some point, Jono, some kind of sideboard guide is going to exist. I'm still working on actually fleshing out how many decks I want up there. Time is a very limiting factor. Towards Mardu Pyromancer, I got you, Kanames. Something people may or may not realize, and people who watch the stream have heard me say this before, like, I'm live for 30 to 40 hours a week, and then I have another 10 to 15 hours a week that I'm doing stream-related stuff off-stream. So, like, time I'm spending putting, like, the website together pushes my work week into, like, the 60-hour range, which is difficult to do all the time. So, it's, as I can find time thing. And sideboard guides are definitely more work than just putting together the playlists and the rest of it. There's like probably a half hour to an hour for everyone I wanted to do for that. I would not be surprised if our Scavenging Ooze is not long for this world. That would not... Yep. Could also potentially get, like, Collective Brutality, etc. Something along those lines. Including travel? People spend 20 hours a week traveling for work? That sounds miserable. That can't be right. 4 hours a day traveling for work? That has to be wrong. Yeah, I'd believe, like, an hour commute every day. 50-50, I'd believe. I feel like living 2 hours from where you work is the exception, not the rule. I feel like while I believe you that a non-zero amount of people commute that much to work, I would definitely challenge that being the norm and not the exception. I would believe you 45 minutes to an hour being common, especially in large cities. Like, people that live in suburbs definitely travel 45 minutes to an hour to get to work regularly. But traveling 2 hours one way every day seems obnoxious. And like I said, I'm not saying people traveling 2 hours to get to work don't exist. I'm saying that that's not the norm, almost certainly. I wouldn't be surprised if in major cities the norm was closer to 45 minutes to an hour, but 2 hours is definitely absurd. And again, I don't have any actual data here. So if you have actual data, average commute is 25.4. Look at that. With the real data, Dan coming in 25.4 minutes. I'd believe that. 25.4. That sounds like a realistic number that I believe. I'm actually going to eat the bridge now with this last one. Honestly, maybe just another Scavenging Ooze is good enough for this matchup. I mean, when I used to teach part-time, one of the schools I would teach at was an hour commute for me. Yeah, this Helix should hopefully put this game out of reach. We're gonna get to block one, Helix the other, plus gain more health off the Scavenging Ooze. When I worked after grad school, there was a guy on my team that he lived in Indiana and commuted to where I live in Illinois and stayed in a hotel for the 4 nights he was here, Monday through Friday. Which is like, I don't even want to know how much money they're paying you to make that worth your while. All right, they've been to another bridge here, so that's probably what we're eating. I mean, if they were paying him enough and, like, he didn't mind hotels, it's probably not the worst. The opponent's deck operates on 1 land very well. We won a lot of games with 1 to 2 lands in play when we were playing the Bridgevine deck. Boop. Just boop you on the nose. Alright, I think I can take a hot second since I'm at 11 to play this knight out here as a second blocker. You can always type exclamation point card name in chat to get the text of a card. Pretty sure a shovel is a better weapon for a revolution than a wooden sword, just saying. That, JJ, thanks for the 3-month free subscription. I appreciate you re-upping for the 3rd month in a row and keeping me employed here for another month. Yeah, feeling pretty good about this game. Yeah, I think maybe the hedge in this deck against the Bridgevine deck is just more Scavenging Ooze. Like, so when people talk about metagaming Modern, and people do this very frequently, and I think they talk about it incorrectly a lot of the time. In my opinion, the correct way to metagame Modern isn't making sweeping changes to your decks that you're used to playing and know are generically good. The correct way to metagame in Modern is to make subtle changes to your deck that are good against the decks that you expect to be picking up in popularity, but don't completely change your deck's existing game plan. So, like, a good example with this deck would be something small like playing a 3rd and maybe a 4th Scavenging Ooze. Playing a couple of Tormod scripts in the sideboard over maybe like an Ancient Grudge and a Damping Sphere. Stuff, yeah, moving to Ley Lines and Mardu Pyromancer. You want to make small, subtle changes that allow you to make the deck that you're familiar with better against the decks that you think are picking up in popularity, but at the same time, you don't want to make changes that are going to cripple your deck in other matches. I think a lot of times people overstate how much Modern as a metagame changes, because changing decks in Modern is not only expensive monetarily for most people, but it's also expensive in terms of time. Learning the ins and outs of a new deck, especially a complicated one like Bridgevine that has a lot of sequencing decisions, takes a lot of effort even if you're a good Magic player. So I really feel like that makes it pretty overstated when people talk about a new deck picking up hugely in popularity. Alright, so they've been to Gravecrawler and not much else here. They have basic Swamp in their deck. I wonder if it's the 18th land or if they're greedy and playing a Swamp on 17. I drew this Grim Lavamancer, so I kind of want to maximize my ability to produce green mana, so that way the Scavenging Ooze can be as potent as possible. I also don't really want to be activating Grim Lavamancer super quickly. I think I'm just gonna play a tapped land here, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna play a tapped land and pass. I don't need the Grim Lavamancer active just yet. We've 5-0'd with the Naya Landfall deck on stream at least once, and we 4-1'd a bunch with it. You can find all those the deck lists and all those past archives on my website on the deck list page. I think this deck is a powerful, proactive game plan, and the fact that it gets to play Path to Exile and Lightning Bolt gives it the tools to be competitive in a lot of different matches. I'm gonna go ahead and fetch Shock Temple Garden here. Play Muscuse. Yeah, exactly, Dylan. It's an aggro deck that actively wants to hit land drops. I agree I agree that that's a big draw to it, too. You have stuff to do when you've drawn a lot of lands. Viscera Seer makes our Lightning Helixes pretty significantly worse because they get to sacrifice the creature that Lightning Helix is targeting, which means the Lightning Helix gets countered upon resolution, so it doesn't actually gain us health, which sucks. Let's see if they have a Brutality. I think we might be getting Brutality here. Maybe I should have waited a turn on the Skoos. I don't know. Untapping with the Skoos is just so appealing. Yeah, it's a little brutal. Yeah, like if we had like a Tormod script to draw to here, we just like shut them out of the game completely. But instead, I don't have one of those to draw to. I fetch a basic forest. This gets up to a 4/4. So this is a very good draw. We could potentially stonewall them. If they don't flip Vengevine into play this turn, we have a very good chance. That being said, they have Gravecrawler in their discard piles. They just need any 1 or 0 mana creature to flip the Vengevine into play. So I'd assume we're dead here. Lightning Axe. Woof. If their last card's a 0 mana creature, I'm going to concede. Would Bojuka Bog be bad here? Bog's a good suggestion. The last time we played this deck, I don't think there were enough graveyard decks in the format to warrant playing a Bog. But with what this deck is doing, a Bog seems very, very reasonable. I was thinking I wanted potentially a Tormod script, but Bog had slipped my mind. Bog is probably a worthwhile addition to this deck now. Yeah, I think a Bog in the sideboard sounds very reasonable. It's a good suggestion. Alright, yeah, we're very dead here. And, like, Bog wouldn't explicitly have helped us in that game, but I think there are games where, like, this deck can gum the board a little bit against them, and Bog would be very useful. So, and this is subtle, too. It's possible Dryad Arbor could be good, because knighting Dryad Arbor means they lose their bridges. It's another thing to consider. So here's the problem with Sejiri Steppe. Sejiri Steppe is a trap card. Sejiri Steppe is a card that if you're able to fetch Sejiri Steppe, thank you, Kanamis, I appreciate it. If you're able to fetch Sejiri Steppe, it means you got to untap with an active Knight of the Reliquary. And if you got to untap with an active Knight of the Reliquary, it means your opponent doesn't have removal. So Sejiri Steppe is a card that's only good when your opponent has removal, but you're only going to get to use it when they don't have removal. So it's basically just a trap. It's basically a trap. Just like, while it really looks good on paper, when you think about the context and how the card's going to end up being used in the games that you're playing, it becomes a lot less appealing. Also, you then have to, like, have Sejiri Steppe in your deck, which really sucks. You have to, like, draw this tapped land, which just feels terrible consistently. I'm gonna pass here, because if my opponent has a Thought Knot, I want to path it, and Steppe Lynx isn't accomplishing a ton. Smasher or Thought Knot, I would like to exile this turn. They're just going to play Matter Reshaper and I'm going to feel silly. Yeah, I'm happy to run back Black Green Rock Interonyx. Get that added. Afternoon Hawkage. Yeah, I agree. Probably worth pathing Matter Reshaper. If I draw a fetch land this turn, I'll probably go fetch, Rallier, put Wild Nacatl into play. It's Jace. There's a link below the stream, or bit.ly/Google submit, which gives you a Google form to fill out to submit a deck through. I think big Naya decks are not very good. I think when I often talk about things that make modern decks good or playable, the thing you often hear me mention is having the ability to have a turn 3 linear draw with some consistency. And this deck can actually deal 20 points of damage by turn 3 with the correct sequence of draws, which I think makes it more competitive than a lot of these Naya archetypes can otherwise be. This deck also has the ability on the back of 8 removal spells and Tireless Tracker to have a little bit of grindy element to it too, which is nice. Well, that makes my Renegade Rallier a lot worse. He's dead, Jim. I guess they're mostly out of gas here, though. So if I just, like, hit some lands, we could be in a good spot. I think trying to discuss tiers of decks is largely meaningless and arbitrary, and that's why I didn't list decks using tiers on my website. It was intentional that there are not tiers next to the decks listed on my website. People, meh. I don't know what it is about Magic players specifically, but Magic players really love arguing over arbitrary definitions of things. And like something like tiers, especially in a game where we don't have access to objective data, it's kind of silly to discuss because like you can't, that's something you really need objective data in order to be able to clearly define. Why didn't we Rallier into Path? Why didn't we Rallier into Path? Because I didn't really value getting the Rallier into play. Like, once I have the Knight in play, the Knight can trigger Revolt on demand for the Rallier. I would have hit them for 4 more, but I don't think that's really meaningful. But discussing tiers, I don't think discussing tiers is helpful or constructive because it's not something that you can actually measure. In order, like, tiers are intended to be a unit of measurement, and if we don't have a unit of measurement we all agree on, it's meaningless, right? Like, if I tell you the temperature outside is 40, let's make up a word, 40 bananas. The temperature outside is 40 bananas, and I think a banana relates to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and you think a banana relates to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, like, that's not a useful discussion, right? Like, nothing meaningful has come of our discussion. Like, I agree that in the generic sense, tiers could be a useful unit of measurement. In the practical sense, they're not a useful unit of measurement because nobody agrees on what the units of measurements represent. If a measurement system isn't objective, it's not useful. Yes, if we had piles of objective data, we could meaningfully determine what we mean by different decks or different tiers. I think I'm running a double block here. Because, like, if I rip a fetch land, which we have a ton of, I can Rallier back my Scavenging Ooze. I get kind of punished by a bolt, but I think if they had a bolt, they would have killed this last turn, so they would have needed to draw a bolt this turn specifically. Sure, Technopunk, but then you end up with, like, what we have with programming libraries, right? Where, like, there's infinite programming libraries because everybody thinks their definition is useful. So, like, it's not what one person says is a tier, another person says is another tier. So then before you begin any discussion about anything tier related, you have to start with this preamble explaining what your definition of a tier means. And again, once you do that, like, the idea of discussing thing on a tier or a measurement is supposed to standardize things and make things easier. And once you're required to put, like, this giant preamble in front of it, you've failed at what you were trying to accomplish. You're not making things easier, you're making it more convoluted. I think I just take this trade here, right? That just, like, makes our Scavenging Ooze huge and preserves our health total. When I could gather, the lack of information came from wanting complete autonomy in determining power levels of cards. Yeah, I believe that. I think they just, like, don't want people to be able to accurately measure a lot of things. All right, let's gobble their stuff up. Do I attack with this? I think I just attack with this. That's a smasher, but they're losing this race, right? By a pretty significant margin. Alright, so I'm gonna eat my Rallier. Do I have a way to not die to lightning bolt out of them? Not really. If I get aggressive here, they kill me with Bloodbraid Elf or Lightning Bolt, but if I don't get aggressive, they kill me with Eldrazi Obligator. So I think I'm just supposed to 2-turn clock them here. I think I'm just supposed to 2-turn clock them. You have 35 plums to win this game. God, I look forward to all of the fruit measurements we're going to have in the future on this stream. They ripped it? Yep. Unfortunate. Alright, so I think Helix is good in this matchup. I don't think Ghost Quarter is particularly great either. Is Grim Lavamancer good enough? I guess Lavamancer kills Bloodbraid and their mana creatures. Yeah, Lavamancer's probably fine. I think I'm gonna cut Steppe Lynx. Be a little bit more controlling. Let's give this a try. Yeah, the chances of them being on just one colorless land are pretty low, though. I chose Chandra because she's Reach, and she generates card advantage. Both of which are things you're interested in doing in the matches where you bring in Chandra. She's also removal. Chandra's just, like, probably the best 4-mana planeswalker in Modern, honestly. I'm gonna keep this with a Scry because there's 25 lands in our deck. God bless. Ciao. Let me repeat that for the people that just typed Jason chat. Chandra's probably the best 4-mana Planeswalker in Modern. Just in case I stuttered the first time. Alright, we're going to take some damage from our lands here, but I think this was still an okay keep. Chandra is better by 178 strawberries. Yep. Fetch land, fetch land, fetch land, fetch land, any land. Ding, ding. I assume this is dying. Yep. Still gonna crack this fetch. Grab a basic plains here, I think, so we have extra white. I think I'm just rallying back my my Plated Geopede here. Renegade Rallier is really sweet in this deck because it is a card that, when we're grinding, helps us recur more threats, and when we need to be linear, it helps us linear our opponent as well. You know, I elaborate on why Chandra is the best format played, because it does everything I just said. It's reach, and Modern's a format that's about being aggressive and closing games out. It's removal, so it can help you catch back up when you're behind, and it can generate card advantage for you, so it has the option to help you grind when you need to grind. We're going to be playing Mono Green Stompy and then Naya Valakut, and then we're going to wrap up with Grishelbrand today. It even ramps, right? Just like gives you mana too. It's just so flexible. What's my sequence here? Basically, I have to decide how long do I think this game is going. Is this game going to last to a point where Plated Geopede is going to have a relevant text box? Or, sorry, the Tireless Tracker making clues is going to be relevant? Or should I be playing Knight of the Reliquary here so I can be... I think I'm supposed to play Knight. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to play Knight. Because Knight will be a 5/5, potentially. I'm going to attack for 6 here. Yeah, I think Grishelbrand's a really great choice. In fact, because it can just race the Bridgevine deck, and you can play a couple of Angers in the sideboard to, like, be pseudo-interactive in the games where you're not racing them. I guess because of the Noble Hierarch, Knight can't... Oh, they have a Dismember. Couldn't block, what's it called anyways? Details on the sub-Discord are here. Howdy Mind, welcome back to a live one. I was kind of waiting to crack it for the other Geopede Paris, or like if we draw another Renegade Rallier. Yeah, this is a smusher. We're going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Okay, if they don't have removal, they're dead here. Nah, Chandra's probably more of a sideboard card for Jund. Black Green Rock was added to the queue this morning by what's it called? By Interonic, so it's not there yet. Hazard's fine. It's just the bar for a 4-mana card to be playable is really high. Because you're frequently dead by the time you can put a 4-mana card into play. Dead to a lot of stuff here. Pretty medium run with the Landfall deck this morning. Whenever it gets to the top of the queue, Alpha. Whenever it gets to the top of the queue. It's really easy to predict when I'm going to be playing something. You can pull up the donation queue and look what's towards the top. The people that support my content get to dictate what we play and when we play it. Pretty dead to this Obligator. Well, Anoronix, I will say that every deck I have on the list today has been bumped to 100. So if people want to get in, they're gonna have to double that. Just ran RM-RF en route. Day is going great. I like. Sorry to laugh, Robert. I always like quad check what directory I'm in when I start typing RM-RF with an asterisk. Just like triple check to make sure where we're at. Because I've definitely done that once before, and you just never want to do it again. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna play another one. I feel like we've caught the pretty bad end of variance in a couple of these games. This isn't like a deck where we're 0-3 and the deck is just bad. I do think another Scooze and a Bojuka Bog are worthwhile additions for playing against Bridgevine if that's going to be more in the format, but I'm pretty happy with the core of this otherwise. We didn't get back the Knight because you don't know what Renegade Rallier does. Please read the magic card. I haven't thought about keeping a list of 5-0 decks because the actual result of your matches in the league is meaningless for determining how good a deck is. I've 5-0'd with decks, and in the conclusion been, this deck wasn't very good. I don't think we'd play it again. I've 2-3'd with decks and gone, this deck was reasonable, and we played a lot of close games, and with a little bit better luck, we could have easily been a 3-2 or a 4-1 or a 5-0. Like, the people that focus on just the results of the matches and don't care about the details of them don't understand what goes into assessing why a deck is good or bad. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I've top-8'd a tournament with a deck, and after I finish playing, I'm like, man, that deck was terrible. We are never playing this again. Like, that's something that happens far more frequently than I think most people realize. We're just like, well, that was poop. Sither, not slither. Look, I'm gonna keep adding words to names, and it's just something that happens here. No, the rat deck was really bad. The rat deck was really bad. Removal spell. Removal spell. That's like kind of a removal spell, but it's probably too little too late. Needed that on 1 or 2. All right. Thank you for 9. Go. They have another Lord here. The Grim Lavamancer's not even good enough. And as far as like getting names correct goes, put some capitalization in your names, people. If you have multiple words in your name and I butcher which letters go with which words, that's your fault. Rally for all of us, the great kingdom of Hoaglandia. Eternal Witness, thank you for the 2-month free subscription. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. You see how when I type, the H in Hoagland is capitalized? That's something you can do, and it's intentional. Wannabe Beetle. Drink me MTG with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I got some bad news, chat. We are very dead. We are very, very dead. Alright, so this is a matchup where we are the control deck. I'm going to trade these helixes in for the trackers out. Well, I guess we need to be a little aggressive here. I'm going to trade the trackers. I think we just want to be aggressive while killing their stuff. Wesselmose with the $10 donation. Are chests still a thing? I don't actually know if I have 4 chests. I sold very recently. What does it look like? Do I have chesties? I do. I have 5 chesties. So would you like me to crack 4 of them? I'm happy to crack chests for $2 donations, $2.50 donations. Yeah, this is definitely a keep. Chests are extra high right now, so you shouldn't be sitting on them. If you have treasure chests on Moto, now is the time to sell. They're over 2.4, last I checked. I'll make a note to open 4 chests after this match. So I have so much removal here that I'm just going to go ahead and kill. Some games, you don't want to kill their first dork. You just want to save removal to kill their payoffs. But I just have so much removal that I think killing their first guy, hoping they don't have a second land, is reasonable. Sometimes they just stumble and die. Fetch land's a pretty decent draw here. Pop this Bloodstained Mire back into play. Do I want to path this for a guaranteed 8 points of damage? I don't think so. I think if they want to use this as a gain 6, I'm okay with that. Like, if they block, I just won't crack this. Because I don't want them to be able to play Collected Company next turn. So, get my 8 in. They're down to 10. Right. Do this and then smash, I think. Actually, because I have 2 paths, I'm going to go ahead and path this Clan Caller, so they just don't have good blocks here. Because, like, there's a chance they might go, like, block here to trade this and chump block this. Putting them to 5 is pretty appealing. It means if I draw a fetch line next turn, I'll be in a very good spot. I boarded an Abrupt Decay. That's rough. Overgrown Tomb and Elves is weird. You have so many duels that you usually don't need to play that card. I wonder if they're playing it instead of Cavern of Souls, perhaps. I guess it makes your sideboard cards easier to cast. They shocked. Do they have Court of Calling? Why would they shock? This makes them have to jump block the Plated Geopede. Company makes sense. Oh yeah, two companies makes a lot of sense. Because if they hit 2 elves off of this one, they can then company a second time. Oh, Zuri's really rough. Yeah, they just get to regenerate now. That was a brutal league. Yeah, I'm not gonna play the 5th one. That was rough. That was rough. The first one we got a little bit unlucky. These next 2 were pretty close games. I feel like they could have, either of these could have gone differently with just a little bit of things. The last one, Elves is a hard matchup for this deck, I think. Without Kessig Wolf Run, we don't have a good way to like punch through their go wide plan. What would I change in here? So I think I definitely would adjust slightly for the idea that like Bridgevine is a deck that's seeing more play now. So I think what I would do if I were to play this deck again moving forward, I think I would put a third. I think I would put a third Scavenging Ooze in the main deck. I think I'd slide a Bojuka Bog. I'm going to open chest. Hold on. I'm just doing the wrap up here. I think I'd put a Bojuka Bog in the board. And honestly, I think I'd probably play a Tormod script or 2 as well. Just like over a Damping Sphere. At least one. I think this is what I would do if I were to play this deck again with Bridgevine being popular. Again, just like not major changes, but just like small changes that hedge the matchup without changing things completely. We did not win any matches in that league. It was brutal. Justin did make a thing with your old account name. He said he asked the other day if you had found out yet.